Hey, Adam.
What's up?
Are you a baseball fan?
I am a baseball fan.
Do we still have that team here in St. Louis?
The St. Louis Cardinals?
Yeah. What are they? AAA or MLB? I can't remember.
They're playing like AAA.
Oh.
I'm Adam Maness.
I'm Peter Martin.
You're listening to the You'll Hear podcast.
Daily jazz advice coming at you.
Coming at you. It's All-Star weekend, but it's Tuesday, so it's All-Star game. It's the All-Star game.
Does the All-Star weekend go all the way through?
It does.
You know what? I used to know so much about baseball being from St. Louis, but ever since the Blues won the NHL, I don't even. This is like a hockey town now.
Don't give a crap anymore.
Do we even have the? That's what I was asking, man.
Well, so we thought this would be really, really fun to do our favorite All-Star bands.
Yes.
But not the kind of All-Star bands you might be thinking of.
No.
We chose random topics that we thought were funny.
Yes. And then we discarded some of them because they were not politically correct and came up with another list.
So we're going to put together some all-star bands of our favorite jazz musicians based on some interesting criteria.
Yes. And look, apologies for those left out and apologies for those put in. Both.
Both, yeah.
This was really off the cuff. We literally just came up with this. But this is something that we play around with all the time anyway. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories, I think.
We do.
And so you want to go first?
Yeah, so we're going to do our first category is our all-star band of introspective hipsters.
Yes, and so with all these, we tried to kind of put together an actual band based upon the theme with different instruments that would go together. But then we abandoned that at certain points just because there's people that we wanted to fit in.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who you got first on the all-star introspective hipster band?
This is the godfather of all-star introspective hipsters, and that's pianist Bill Evans.
Yes, he might be the leader of this band.
I think he would be.
I think he would be.
For sure.
Yeah. And then on bass, we were going to go with Scott LaFaro, but we could already see where this was going. It was going to be all like, Bill Evans' band. So we actually went with Gary Peacock.
Yeah, he's not so much of a hipster, but he's very introspective.
He's very introspective. So we're already getting off topic and off focus here.
A little bit.
Yeah, no, but he'll fit into that band well.
I could put Larry Grenadier in this category as well.
That's right. That's right.
And possibly Ben Williams.
Ooh.
Although he's not as introspective.
But he's borderline hipster.
He is.
Yeah, he's
a lot of hats.
A lot of hats.
A
lot of skinny jeans, hats, and boots. Okay, now on drums. Now, we wrestled with this one because we had several good nominees.
For sure.
But then we settled upon the champion for the All-Star Introspective Hipster Band, which would be Brian Blade, our friend of the podcast.
You want your All-Star Introspective Hipster drummer to look like he can make you a mean cappuccino.
Exactly.
And Blade certainly has that vibe.
And he has. He's made me a mean cappuccino. And look, the thing about Brian that a lot of people might not know unless you were around New Orleans in the early 90s when we used to play together a lot, that whole kind of circle, Nicholas Payton and Chris Thomas and Jermaine Basil, Victor Goins, Brian Blade, Jeremy Davenport, many great players. But Brian was already a hipster then.
Yeah.
And I know there was an original hipster thing in the 40s and 50s and stuff. But this resurgence, like Brian was pre-hipster, and he's just like he is today. So he definitely deserves to be on here.
So next on guitar, we have, of course, Mary Halverson.
Yes, exactly.
Who's making quite a name for herself, but certainly is in this introspective hipster. I mean, we want to imagine you're in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And you're going to a gig.
Yeah.
These are people that you could and would see on a gig like as such.
And then next we have on saxophone, Mark Turner.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
That's right. And more introspective than hipster, but he's another kind of pre-hipster.
Oh, yeah, he's great too.
Pre-hipster.
On trumpet, Ambrose Akinmusire, of course.
Yeah.
I think fits the bill perfectly. This actually, looking at this.
It's a good band.
It's a good band. This is music I want to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's alive except Bill Evans, so we'd have to we could drop in Brad Melda, let's be honest, on the introspective hipster, although he's more introspective than hipster.
Yeah, these days he is, but easily that would work.
And I think with Ambrose, I don't even know that he's really hipster, but all the hipsters love his music.
It's
so
true.
it's like he gets thrown into that.
Honorary hipster.
He's an honorary hipster.
Yeah.
All right, I like that introspective hipster band.
All right, so what's our next category?
Our next, should we push this one? No, let's go ahead and go. Let's get this one out of the way.
This is a good one.
So this is our all-star notorious a-hole band. These are all people, and I think we did good. These are almost everybody's dead on here, which is good.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, but so we're going to kind of put ourselves out there a little bit unless we can come up with somebody else to sub in for that pianist at the end. But we're going to start it out with saxophonist Stan Getz.
I like it.
Yeah. And look, I love Stan Getz's music, but I always heard these stories. I mean, some really horrible stuff.
A lot of stories, yeah.
And maybe not all of it's true, but some of it's got to be
for
true.
such a beautiful light tone, the airy, breathy.
Yeah, and he was like a notorious misogynist, I heard, and
excellent.
Just so
yeah, it makes the list. And then next, of course, on trumpet, Miles Davis.
Miles Davis, the original, yeah, and
proudly, I think.
Proudly, movie was made about it, so yeah, he's there. Okay, these are all notorious.
Oh my gosh!
And then on drums, it gets no more notorious than this, and everybody knows who.
There is auditory evidence.
There's auditory evidence. Buddy Rich,
of course.
Yeah. The original, a-hole at the drums. Another amazing musician.
This is a great band.
This is a good band.
Because on bass, of course, Jaco Pastorius.
That's right. Yeah, no slacker on the bass, but a few altercations here.
Yeah, notoriously a divish. We don't even have a singer on here. Think about some singers.
There's quite a few singers we could have.
All right, we have two bonuses here, and these are superstars. And the first is Ray Charles. I didn't know about that. Ray Charles was kind of.
I don't know. I actually met him once and was like at a jazz festival. He seemed like such a sweet guy and was genius.
Yeah,
truly. But I heard some stories about him, the tour bus, everybody, all the musicians being crowded in the back and all his luggage being in the front, and then he was on a private jet.
I love it.
So it could have been exaggerated.
I love the diviness.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. That rounds out that. I feel better. Now we're going to get back to some more positive ones. So now we have the All-Star Athletic Jazz Players.
That's great.
These are both athletes and jazz players, mostly jazz players. Some of them you're going to be surprised about.
For sure.
But these are all, first and foremost jazz musicians, but they got some skills on the athletic field.
Number one is Miles, who makes his second appearance on his All-Star.
That's
on
right.
our All-Star list, because he was a boxer.
He was a boxer and apparently pretty good.
Yeah.
Apparently pretty good.
Yeah.
Next, we have Warren Wolf, friend of the podcast.
Our buddy
Open
Warren.
Studio star, yes, who is quite the...
he's ripped. Warren is ripped.
Warren is ripped. He's a bodybuilder. He's a bona fide bodybuilder. He's been doing it since he was a teenager. He's also super fast. I've ran with him before. He's not much on the distances. He'll do some long distances.
But he can sprint.
Yeah, we did 6 miles in the park recently. He stopped every mile to rest and play on his phone. We did that. But then at the end, he was like, do you want to do some sprints? I was like, I'm kind of tired, but I'll try it. Man, that dude is fast AF.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Then we have Kevin Eubanks.
Kevin Eubanks.
Also a guy who's always in good shape.
Good shape. Getting older now, still ripped. I remember that his albums on GRP, seeing him, I was like, wow, that dude is seriously
All right, so now you have Joe Zawinul.
Okay, so Joe Zawinul, I'm not even sure how athletic he was, but I remember seeing him. I met him when I was real young. Great guy, so super nice and kind and helpful to me. And I remember seeing him at the airport in Frankfurt, like in the summer,
Yeah.
And I was, we were playing with Roy Hargrove. So it was like Greg Hutchinson and Roy, Ron Blake. I'm sorry. I was playing with Josh Redmick. That's right, because Blade was there, Chris Thomas, Brian Blade. And we saw Joe Zawinul, and we were like, hey, talking to him. Paco Siri was playing with him at the time. He had a great band. And Joe kind of came up to us, with his chest out. He's like, hey, Peter, Brian, Josh, what are you guys doing on the road? We're like, we're doing this tour, And he's like, yes, what about on off days? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, do you play sports? You should play sports and be in the gym. And, he was real like, what are you doing? So,
all right.
So we're going to throw him on the athletic list.
On the trumpet for our All-Star Athlete jazz band is
and this pains me, but go ahead.
Wynn Marsalis for basketball. Has he beaten you at basketball?
There's Winton rules. Remember like the Jordan rules?
Yeah, sure.
No. Winton is... we've had some competitive games. Winton is really good, and it pains me because he's sneaky. Yeah. He's sneaky. He's an incredible shooter, and he's left-handed.
Oh, yeah.
And if I was a better defender and better player, I could keep that front of mind.
Yeah.
But you're so used to guarding right-handed players, so he's got that. And he's just, I don't know, he never seems that quick, but all of a sudden he's good. He's got skills. I gotta give it up.
And he's
not super athletic, but he's super good. I hate that. Yeah.
On the bass, you got Christian McBride.
I have Christian. I threw him in a little because he's a really good softball player. He used to play on the Juilliard team, and he's a good football player. I never seen him play basketball. I know he's into it, but he has his knowledge of the athletic world, especially NFL, anything Philly, of course, but NFL, NBA, baseball is incredible, historical all the way up to now. He's truly an athlete's athlete.
And then I just put to round out, like if Joe Zawinul is playing Rhodes, I'll play piano because I'm on this list for ping pong. Only because I literally beat you.
You beat me bad.
2 games to nothing.
And I'm
at
not on
ping
the
pong.
list because of that. You are an awesome ping pong player. Okay,
you heard
good.
it here. I have video evidence now.
Now, of course, ping pong is not athletic, but that's beside the point.
Well, anybody who's watching this can understand that.
Right. Now, next, our All-Star band, because we got to get this moving because the actual All-Star game is coming on soon. The Major League, so we want people to watch it. Okay, this is the All-Star Genius Jazz Band.
Oh, am I on this one too?
No,
okay.
We'll have to see. Let's not give it away. Now, we could look at it a couple different ways.
Okay.
First, the way I looked at it was like, how the hell are we going to find a drummer? That's going to be hard. But we did. We
kind
did.
of.
Yeah. No, this, on a serious note, like, there's a lot. I mean, most jazz musicians I know are really smart, actually, for all we joke. So this could have been a lot of people, but our angle on this was not only geniuses, but more like super well educated.
Totally.
Right? So we're starting with Josh Redman, because he not only went to Harvard, but he graduated. I believe he graduated from Harvard. I think he did. So you got to be smart to get into Harvard and to graduate, right? Which led us to, on piano, Mr. Aaron. I guess.
Mr. Aaron Goldberg.
Mr. Aaron Goldberg,
Sorry.
Who was on my mind? He also was a Harvard grad.
I'm not smart enough to take your cue.
Yeah, he's a Harvard grad, and he. I hung out with him last night at the Montreal Jazz Festival.
Oh,
so
nice.
He was very smart. He said a lot of smart things. And then next, who do we have?
Next down on our list is Tyshawn Sorey. We're talking about drummers.
Yes.
And I just remembered how stinking smart Tyshawn Sorey is.
Right.
I believe he also was at Harvard for a while.
Yeah.
And then after him, another drummer. We thought this was going to be a drummerless list, but now that I'm looking at it, there's no bass players on this list.
Yep. We got to get.
Because Bill Stewart, also a smarty pants.
Yeah, he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Very smart guy. And then we got to put VJ Iyer on there.
Yeah, he won a Genius
Grant. I don't even know if he went to Ivy League, but I'm sure he did. And I think he teaches at Ivy League. So, and then James Zorn, because
John Zorn.
John Zorn, sorry.
Yeah.
Why did I say James Zorn? John Zorn, because he is
MacArthur Fellow.
Yeah, he got a Genius Grant.
Yeah.
And then we just do it as a bonus. Oh, no, you know what? We're going to move him to the last band. So let's not even say it. That rounds out our Genius Band, actually.
All right, last one before the All-Star Game starts. This is our funniest band, our group of musicians who are funny.
Yeah. And okay, now first on this list, we have to say, I'm going to change the order here a little bit, because not only is he hilarious, witty, smart, and but he's also like led to some of these other people being really funny. Like, that's how funny he is. And that's the great Lou Donaldson.
Oh, man.
Alto saxophonist. I've gotten a chance to hang out with him a few times. I mean, I'm just literally crying.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
And just quick story about him. Little time with the next person. I was hanging out with Mark Whitfield one time in New York, and we're like at the sushi place talking about Lou Donaldson and like how funny he is, and imitating him, doing the Lou Donaldson. Oh, come on. Like, we started talking and we're drinking, we're eating sushi to the point we actually got kicked out of this place because they were like, some of the patrons, you're annoying them with your high-pitched, weird voices, guy. And we're like, what are you talking about? I'm the great Lou Donaldson. Like, so we literally for 2 hours drank and talked about Lou Donaldson and how fun in his voice. We walk out.
And you got kicked out of the sushi?
We got kicked out of the place, yeah.
That's
They're like, pay your bill,
amazing.
it's time to go.
All
we
right.
walk out, we're like, oh my God, I've gotten kicked out of worse places than this. Can you believe it? No.
Oh my goodness.
He can't play no blues in it. We doing the whole thing.
Woo.
We walk across, we're like, let's go see who's at the Village Vanguard. That probably ain't nobody good. We're doing it. We walk across the street. Guess the pizza place right above the Village Vanguard.
Yeah.
Guess who's standing there ordering a pizza?
Lou Donaldson.
Lou Donaldson. We're like, oh my God, it's Lou Donaldson. I mean, it's Lou Donaldson. So we go and we're like, what's up, Lou? He's like, y'all been talking about me over there. But I mean, Lou Donaldson is the OG genius, funny. He's the leader of this band, actually.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So next I have a couple piano players. First, Robert Glasper.
Oh, yeah.
Who is notoriously funny. He's a great Instagram follow.
That's right.
Great Twitter follow. When I was at the new school at the same time that he was there, and you knew he was in the building because you would just hear this wave of uproarious laughter from the common area because he was always kind of holding court and saying some hilarious shit.
He's funny. And he's really good with like he doesn't mind being made fun of, but he's always got something.
Oh, it's coming back. It's coming back at you.
That remind me of? I don't know. But he's like, I remember we played, I think we came and heard him, or he came and heard us somewhere in Japan. I remember I was hanging with Ruben Rogers. I think we saw him play. And Ruben said something, like he came off stage, we were hanging and having a drink or whatever. And Ruben was like, because, Rob kind of dresses real casual on the gig sometimes. Like, I think he had like a T-shirt.
Like a Batman shirt.
Yeah. And Ruben was like, yo, man, way to dress up for the gig. And Robert's like laughing. And then he immediately comes back and he's like, well, I didn't know that my stockbroker insurance salesman was me. Because Ruben had like a suit. I mean, he was like right there with it. And then they went back and forth. Hilarious. Okay,
then
next.
I have you. I have Peter Martin. Because you are a notoriously good hang.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different. This is not the All-Star good hang.
No.
Band.
But you keep it going. You keep it going for sure. I don't want to get your head too big on it.
No. That's okay. Yeah. Okay, next up we have on guitar, because we got a couple pianists now. That's fine. On guitar we have Mark Whitfield, who I mentioned before. Yeah. Mark Whitfield is hilarious. My nickname, my little personal nickname, in case anybody wants to take it up, you can't, is Whitfeezy. There's a whole inside thing of that. But I mean, Mark is like, I've had a lot of hangs where he's nonstop. He has the energy level and will just keep going. Now, his humor definitely skews towards making fun of people, not making fun with them. But he's great. He's got probably the best Lou Donaldson voice and impersonation. Next, we have Bob Hurst. Robert Leslie Hurst III his humor tends more towards wit. Yeah. Like, he has wit for any kind of thing that you bring up. Follow him on Facebook, Instagram. You will not be disappointed. He's funny AF.
Couple of drummers here. Only 2 drummers. Yeah. There's a lot more.
There's some funny.
The drummers are more funny people. They're more like.
We have more than 2 drummers in the band.
Antonio Sanchez, you were just hanging out with him.
He's funny. He's kind of dry, but it kind of comes out good. Like, and then he's got some funny stuff. He got a lot of political humor now, but a lot of it's not funny because he's serious about his politics. Very anti this current administration. But he's a really funny guy, nice guy, talented guy, really cool dude.
I put on there Matt Wilson, who I've had a chance to play with and hang out with a lot, and he's just a larger-than-life personality.
Yeah, he's good
and hilarious.
It's a good band too, though.
Yeah, it's all these are good bands, man. I would see all of these bands.
Yeah, I don't know, but they each are so like, you had all the athletes together, they'd all be like bumping against each other and stuff. Wait, did we finish all the? We skipped some on the athletes. Oh, we skipped one. I just want to throw in there. Dan Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Wilson on guitar. He's in the All-Star Athletes Jazz place. He's actually the best athlete I've personally played a sport with. It's a great jazz musician. Dan plays guitar. He's a young guy. Plays with Joey DeFrancesco and some others.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible, man.
Yeah.
Plays with McBride.
Yeah.
Tip City
Yeah, he's
Trio.
great.
Yeah, and I played basketball with him, man. He was balling. He was playing like up above the rim.
Cool.
You know, like I don't know if he was dunking, but he was pretty much dunking. Oh, we could put Martin on here on bass.
For athletes?
Great bass. Great basketball.
Well, thanks for listening to this fun version of the podcast. Come up with your own lists of all-star bands you'd like to see.
And start your own podcast.
No. We should have done favorite jazz musician podcasters. We both would have made that.
That's right. The only ones we know.
Maybe not.
That's right. Until tomorrow.
You'll hear it.